Hey guys, how's it going? Back once again with another video. And those who don't know me, of course, I'm IYRE, drum and bass producer, DJ, and a music producer in general, I suppose. And welcome to my channel, of course, if you're new to the channel. And I was thinking about discussing about labels today, because this is basically a question that I get asked quite often, regardless of the scenario. It could either be from the local scene or when I'm moving about in the international scene. I get asked about approaching labels and what are the do's and the don'ts. So I thought of basically giving you guys an insight in terms of dealing with labels. So in terms of approaching a label, I would say the first or the golden rule would be for you to do a little bit of research. Maybe try to understand the type of music that you're making at the time, and if there are specific labels that are willing to accommodate the type of sound that you're making, and if the labels are a little bit approachable as well, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get through to specific labels with the magnitude of who they are, and it always helps if the label is approachable. And when you send an email, if you get a reply, or in terms of the time duration that you have to wait for a reply. So there's a few things that you need to consider first and foremost, and looking into the labels which provides or rather accommodates the type of music that you're making. So that was basically what I did as well. When I started, I did a little bit of research, and of course my friends helped me as well, guys like Andre, Human Nature, for example. So these guys gave me a bit of insight as well, and at the same time I was willing to take that time and do a little bit of research in terms of the types of labels that might be accommodating to the type of music that I was making at the time. And Goldfat came into play at that time, because I randomly came about this artist called Winslow, and my brother, of course. So he was releasing music on Goldfat, and I thought there were a few common grounds in terms of the type of music that we were making, a little bit more soulful and a little bit more dark, deepish at the same time. So I thought maybe Goldfat would be accommodating to the type of music that we were making. And I sent an email, I sent a demo to these guys, and then they were quite accommodating, and one thing led to another, and I got signed to Goldfat, released fragments, got on UKF, and everything was a blur ever since. So picking the correct label for your sound will actually be quite beneficial in the end. So just make sure that you do an ample amount of research and choose the labels that you find interesting, and at the same time that would be open to accommodating the type of music that you're making as well. Another thing I would say would be to be interested in the label that you're working as well. Now, I was a fan of Goldfat, and I loved the music that we were pushing, and I was kicking myself, and I was telling myself that I need to release with these guys somehow or other, because I love the back catalog of what they were putting at the time. So you need to be a fan of the label as well, a bit more supportive, engage on social media and show your support openly, play the music, interact with the artists. And that's basically how you can accommodate yourself into the ecosystem, and this has to happen organically. You need to feel as if you're a genuine fan of the label, and you can't fake yourself into that circle, and it has to happen organically. And for my luck, the labels that I'm working with have a great relationship with me. At the same time, I love those labels, I love the ecosystems, I love the type of music that they're pushing, and the people who are working in these labels. Even to this day, quite a few of them are friends at this point. So yeah, just being a part of that ecosystem and creating organic relationships with the labels can go a long way. Now, I had to do all of this through the internet, but if you guys are living in the scene, especially if your producers living in the UK, or let's say in a different scene for that matter, just go to the label nights and establish a relationship with them and show your support. So that can actually go a long way as well. And another key aspect would be the way that you approach the label. Now, when you're sending an email, just be a little bit more courteous, be respectful, and show that you're keeping up with the releases of the label. And if you're sending an email, which comes to the next point, if you're sending an email, just make it short, a very brief introduction of yourself if you're approaching the label for the first time ever. And just mention that you've been a fan of the label and I've really been digging the type of music that you're releasing. If you can maybe specifically point out a few releases that they've done, it can go a long way. And then when you're linking the music, just make sure that you're sending a link which is not expiring. So if you're sending WeTransfer links, not the best choice. So if you're sending music to labels, just make sure that either it can be a SoundCloud link, a private link, possibly maybe a Google Drive link with the link being open to everybody, or a Dropbox link. More suitable would be Dropbox links and SoundCloud links when you're sending music to labels, because Google Drive, it takes a few bit of seconds to load the song, and then if it's not loading, you'll probably have to download the song. So it's a whole bit of hassle. And bear in mind that most of these labels get so many demos, not just you. So you need to make their life a little bit as easy as well. So when you're sending a streamable link, it's very easy for them to check the music out and get back to you really quickly. And also, like I told you before, do not send WeTransfer links which are going to expire, just because some of the labels has a very long it takes a long time to get back to you, and possibly it might be even a month or so that they're going to check the music out. So you need to make sure that the links are still working. So for that reason, just make sure that you're either sending a SoundCloud link or a Dropbox link. And when you're sending music to labels, just make sure that you're sending music only to one label at a given time. Don't send the same link to about five or six labels at the same time, because it's disrespectful in one aspect, and if multiple labels want the tune at the same time, you'll probably have to go through a very ugly conversation and say and probably say no to a label, which you don't want to do. If you're very excited about a few labels at the same time, you don't want to be flagged by these guys. So just make sure that you're sending songs to one label at one time. Maybe wait for 3 to 4 weeks to hear back, and if you don't hear back from a specific label, then it's time to move on to the next label. And then it's reasonable for you to say no to another label and say, hey, I've been waiting to hear back, sadly I had to give this away to another label. So obviously you can have that conversation if you waited for some time. And then another thing would be, so when sending music to a label, don't send 10 to 15 tunes. Just make sure that you pick maximum 5 to 6 tunes which are your best work. Maybe do a home master of them as well. Don't send pre-masters, just do a master the way that you can. Or if you have a friend who can do like a really good home master for you, just approach the friend and get it done, and send about 5 to 6 songs. Don't send them 10 to 15 songs, because it's always better to send a few songs that you think are the best version of yourself as a producer. So just make sure that the amount of tunes are limited to 5 to 6 tunes max. But of course, if you have a working relationship with these labels, then you can obviously send 10 to 15 tunes or whatever, because you've already released music with them and you have a nice rapport. You have a nice relationship built with these labels. So once you have those releases under control, for sure you have the freedom to do so. But if not, if you're sending music first time, if you're approaching a label for the first time ever, then just make sure that you're sending only about 5 to 6 tunes. I suppose so. Those are basically the things that you need to keep in mind when sending music to labels. I've been like I told you before, this question has been asked quite a lot of times from me, so I thought of addressing this and letting you guys know a few good tips. And for producers who are living a little bit far away from the scene, like myself, another thing that I did was being a little bit more mindful about the time differences. Now, for example, most of the labels that I work with are, I mean, all of the labels that I work with are either based in the UK or Europe. So the time difference is anywhere from 6 hours to 5.5 hours. So if it's London, it's 5.5 hours, and if it's in Europe, probably from 5.5 hours to about 6 to 7 hours. So I keep that in mind when I send music to labels. And when I'm sending music to labels, I usually send my emails on Mondays, and I don't necessarily send music on Fridays, because Friday is basically the day that we're winding down for the weekend, and we sometimes go a little bit early and not so keen on checking emails out. I mean, at least it's the corporate lifestyle that I was exposed to, so I just decided not to send music on Fridays, and usually I send music on Monday mornings, so that that email is the first thing that the NR peeps are seeing on their inbox. So yeah, that's one of the things that needs to be kept in mind if you're a producer who's not living in the scene. So I hope that helps. It's a relatively short video, of course, but this is a very important topic, and a topic which is often asked from my friends. So hope this helps, and hopefully a few of you guys who get the opportunity to release music with labels. So yeah, big ups, and hopefully next week with a new video. As you can see, I have a relatively okayish background as of now. Got a bunch of lights, and have a ring light over here. So yeah, thank you so much, and hopefully a new video next week. Peace.